All right.
Like unprecedented. Exactly.
Let's get started, guys. From where we left off in the last class, we have done with MIS. That's what we finished in the last class. And also had a look at EIS, Executive Information System. Yeah, can you see the screen? Not yet. Did it just not connect? Yeah, great. Okay, so looking into Executive Information System, guys, we touched upon it in the last class, but we'll go through it again and start exactly from here. So if we look into the Executive Information System, what about the system and what the kind of resources that they need, what kind of data does it need, we'll look into that. So as I talk about the Executive Information System, we have few ideas to look into. So when we talk about Executive Information System, one is the purpose. It provides strategic information for senior managers. So what is the purpose? It provides strategic information for senior managers. What is the purpose of EIS? It provides the strategic information for senior managers. That is the first thing. Okay, provides strategic information for senior managers. Second, data source. It combines internal and external business data. Reports. It produces summarized reports for decision making. And strategic support. It helps analyze trends and make strategic decision. It helps to analyze trends and to make strategic decision. Finally, the example is CEO monitors sales, competitors, and market trends. All right. So first we looked into the purpose. It provides strategic information for senior managers. What it does is it provides strategic information for senior managers. Second, data source. It combines internal and external business data. Reports. It provides summarized reports for quick decision making. Strategic report. It helps analyze the trends and make strategic decisions. So guys, again, people at the senior level, they don't need a lot of detailed information. They need a lot of summarized information about everything that is happening. Why would they need that? So that they can make better decisions, right? So they would want to know at the senior level, what is the trends that is happening, what are the sales that are happening at the operational level. So they don't need the full data of the operational level. They just need from a very summarized version what is happening at the operational level so that they can make decisions. Okay, so this is executive information system used by top level management, and the main objective is to make sure use that data and make strategic decision. Okay, so they don't want a detailed information, they want just crisp information, summarized information, and they want to use that to make decisions. Okay, that is our executive information system. Now we'll start with ERPs, enterprise resource planning systems. This is a commonly used system. Let's focus on this and what exactly does this consists of. It integrates all the business functions into one system, right? It gives you real-time information and it standardizes all the data here. You can see here all these key benefits have been summarized. Firstly, the biggest purpose of this, it integrates all your business function into one system, like all your attendance, all your marks, all your assignments, everything together in one place will give you all the information about you. Okay, so from the time you've joined the college till today, there'll be so much information related to you inside the college. Could be your attendance percentage, could be your marks, could be your assignment submission, could be your attendance, could be your registration number, could be the fees update, everything about you. There's a lot of information. So integrating all of that information in one place, right? It integrates all the business functions and the information about those functions into one place. And some characteristics about it. Firstly, real-time information. It provides up-to-date business information. What it does, it provides up-to-date business information. Second, data standardization. It uses common data formats across departments. It uses common data formats across departments. Next, it maintains one central database. And second, connects sales, HR, finance, inventory, and production. It connects sales, HR, finance, inventory, and production. All right. So these are all the benefits, and these are all the some of the characteristics. To be precise, it gives you real-time information. It uses common data formats across department. The standardization. There's no data duplication over here, and it integrates all the processes. Okay, it's one central place where all the business function just pours in their information. Okay, you can just imagine like probably like three, four. Buildings probably having one common entrance. You can just say probably there are three, four buildings and all of them have one clubhouse as a central place. So four buildings having one clubhouse, that is a common clubhouse. Similarly, there are multiple functions and they all end up in one place. Okay, so it gives you a central place where it integrates all the business function into one system. It gives you real-time information, your data is standardized, there's no data duplication, and finally is integrated processes. It connects your sales, connects your HR, finance, inventory, and production. So this is about integrated processes. There's no data duplication here. Data is very standardized. You get real-time information. Yeah. How do we understand real-time information, Rakshita? What is real-time information? Yeah. Real-time info. Yeah. On spot. Okay. Let's say if I send you a DM right now, you get it immediately. Can you say that it's happening in real time? As it's happening, you get it. As it's happening, you get it. That's called as real time. Okay. and everything else is pretty straightforward, guys. Data standardization, no duplication, integrated processes. That is about ERP. Now, what are the applications of ERP? Where exactly is it used? Okay, so let's look into some of the application. First of all, it's used in supply chain management. It tracks your goods, information, finances across the supply chain, right? From the lot of time when you order something online, you can see where it is at exactly and what system the process is in. Like, has the Amazon delivered your products? Has the delivery agent picked it up? How long is it for you to deliver? Is he at your doorstep? What is all this? If you think about step-by-step information, various processes connected. Okay, so that is all about the first thing, supply chain management. Second, ABC costing. It calculates the accurate product and service cost. So these are the two benefits, because all the costs will be incurred into one central place. All the costs they have put will get a more accurate cost, more service cost. It's like you have all the information about something in one central place. The biggest benefit is that we'll make more accurate cost prediction. We'll know exactly how much cost has been incurred in order to make that particular product. Okay. First is supply chain management. Second is activity-based costing. Supply chain management tracks the goods, information, finances across the supply chain. Activity-based costing, it calculates accurate product and service cost. What it does, it calculates accurate product and service cost. Calculates accurate product and accurate service cost. That is activity-based costing. Okay. So one is supply chain management, one is activity-based costing. One is supply chain management, one is activity-based costing. Okay. One is supply chain management and one is activity-based costing. Okay, so we understood what is supply chain management, we understood what is activity-based costing. Okay, so ERP helps in all, both of these functions. So firstly, we understood what is ERP, what are the characteristics of ERP, where is ERP used. Okay, so this block has been totally about ERP. Yeah, to summarize here, Manusha, what is your understanding? What is ERP in short, and one or two characteristics? Okay, it integrates all business functions into one. Okay.
Data standardization, it uses software. No data duplication because it has only one central database. Integrated process, all the departments are connected.
Okay.
Yeah, applications.
What are one of two applications? One is supply chain management and activity-based costing. All right, and then there is one more that's called balanced scorecard reporting. It measures your financial and non-financial performance both. Right? It measures your financial performance and your non-financial performance. Okay, your behavior is your non-financial performance. Your marks are your financial performance. A company's performance is profit in terms of its assets, in terms of market share is your financial performance. The CSR activity they do is the non-financial performance. Right? How is it impacting the society, environment, and the people. All right, so we got this idea as well. Next, we look into customer relationship management. Okay, next we look into customer relationship management. Okay, what about customer relationship management? Okay, what about customer relationship management? Firstly, when we talk about customer relationship management, what is the purpose? It builds and maintains long-term customer relationship. What does it do? It builds and maintains long-term customer relationship. Okay, CRM, what does it help in? It helps in building and maintaining long-term customer relationship. What does it help in? It helps us in building and maintaining long-term customer relationship. Okay, it helps in building and maintaining long-term customer relationship. Okay, what does it help in? It helps in building and maintaining long-term customer relationship. Okay, what is the purpose? It helps in building and maintaining long-term customer relationship. Okay, it helps in building and maintaining long-term customer relationship. That is the purpose. It helps in building and maintaining long-term customer relationship. Second, customer data. It stores customer details and interaction history. It stores customer details and interaction history. Okay, it stores customer details and interaction history. Next, personalization. It supports customized marketing and services. It supports customized marketing and service. Okay, what do you mean by that? Number one, CRM. It builds and maintains long-term customer relationships. So guys, tell me one brand any of you can relate that you would have gotten WhatsApp marketing of in the last that you can think of. I think Jiva. Because I think someone purchased in my family some jewelry from my this thing name or whatever. Yeah. What about you, Akshita? That you can recollect last on top of your mind on your WhatsApp you would have seen. Marketing message, the message to just tell them what a new offer that is coming, right? Or at some point, we would have all got it. Yeah, have we got it at some point? Okay, course related. What about you, Aditi? At some point, you would have got one. Yeah, some randomly they're just sliding into your WhatsApp DMs, right? Giving your marketing, Swiggy, fair. Okay, so that is a one personalized way you build and maintain long-term customer. A lot of time we place an order, don't they ask for a number? I wondered why. Why do they want a number? You are giving me a product, I'm giving you the money. Why do you want my number? They want to market. They want to market. Right? They'll keep sending you message, but they'll be on top of your mind, top of your mind, top of your mind, top of your mind. When you want that, you'll go buy it from them. That's how sales work. You just stay on top, and whenever the forward one, you will go buy it from them. So you have to just be on top of their minds. Next, customer data. It stores customer details and interaction history. It stores customer details and interaction history. What is customer data? It stores your customer details and interaction history. Right? And next, personalization. It supports customized marketing and services. Right? An example, recommends products based on purchase history, based on whatever you've been purchased. If you suddenly start ordering broccoli, you will see all healthy products advertisement coming. Right? And if you just keep ordering from all the desserts, you'll see more dessert coming. So whatever you do, that just gets coming more. It's good for them. Right? Just like it's like Instagram. You spend time on a certain time of content. Next thing you see, your feed is just about that. Right? So that is all about just making sure personalizing, storing customer data, and the purpose of CRM is to develop a good relationship with the customers. Okay. So there are a few phases that we look into the process of CRM development. First, we look into selection. It identifies the target customers. Who are your target customers? First thing. Okay. Next, acquisition. It attracts new customers. Then retention keeps existing customers through loyalty. Fourth, extension. It increases your sales through cross-selling and upselling. And fourth, after-sales service. It provides support to improve customer loyalty. Right? It provides support to improve customer loyalty. First is selection. It identifies target customers. Right? Acquisition. It attracts new customers. Retention. It keeps existing customers through loyalty. Fourth, extension. Increase sales through cross-selling and upselling. Okay. And after-sales services. It provides customers to improve customer loyalty. It provides support to improve customer loyalty. Okay. So we understood the CRM development process. Okay, selection, it identifies target customers. Acquisition, attract new customers. Retention, it keeps existing customers through loyalty. Extension, it increases sales through cross-selling and upselling. After sales service, it provides support to improve customer loyalty. Okay, so these are some of the processes, CRM development process. The one we understood, selection, identifies target customers. Next, acquisition, attract new customers. Next, retention, keeps customers loyal. Extension, increases your sales through cross-selling and upselling. After sales services, provide support to customers, improves your customer loyalty. So these are all the way you can make your customers loyal so they keep purchasing from you all the time. Okay, next we look into what is big data. Okay, big data, as you know, large quantities of data, large volume of data, mainly structured and unstructured data. Structured and organized data is like databases and spreadsheet. Unstructured data could be your images, videos, emails, social media, PDFs. That is your unstructured data. So big data consists of a large group of data, large variety, veracity, velocity, okay, all the kind of characteristics that we associate with big data. And it has structured data and structured data. Structured data, you know, your organized data. Unstructured data, again, images, videos, emails. Okay, now big data benefits. Okay, big data benefits. What about big data benefits? Okay, what are the benefits of big data? Let's look into the big data benefits of big data here. So firstly, pattern discovery. When you see a large quantity of data, you start to pick patterns, right? If I give you the numbers of FR students and the pass rates of FR students of the last 15 years, right in front of you, next to each other, will be able to find a trend. That we'll be able to find at least 2 times in the year where the pass rates have been the highest over the last 10 years. Right? What is all that? That is trend. Next, competitive advantage. How are you better than your customer? That is called competitive advantage. Right? How is first principles better than being ACCA? Right? How is first principles better than Zell education? Right? What is your competitive edge here? Next, productivity. It optimizes operations and decision making. What is productivity? It optimizes operations and it optimizes decision making. That's what it optimizes. Operations and decision making. Right? And next, innovation. It supports development of new products and services. Right? It supports development of new products and services. What is innovation? It supports development of new products and services. Okay? It supports developments of new products and services. That is innovation. Productivity. It optimizes operations and decision making. So big data has its own benefits. It leads to innovation. Like in the sense that, you know, a lot of times in Big Basket, I see that there are certain products that Big Basket is selling from its own brand name. Right? What would have happened if you think about it? There would be 10,000 searches for, let's say, black rice. And there are not enough suppliers of black rice. What would Big Basket do? Start its own brand of black rice. Right? There are 50 searches on a daily basis for soya chunks. And there is no supplier of soya chunk registered on Big Basket. What would Big Basket do? Start selling its own brand name. So, right? So data collection has helped them to do innovation. Okay. Next, you see productivity. You will know these times of the day you are not studying well. right? So I just start telling to students now that exactly 1 month is there for exam. At least you should average coming 3 hours to where we have at a center. Come there and sit and study for 3 hours minimum, and pick those 3 hours when you're not studying at home, right? Or when we have my live classes with us, I tell them to make sure that my live class should make sure that is the time when you are not studying. I will schedule the live class accordingly. That when you can't study on your own, that is the time you take the class. So that's why we put all the class in the second half of the day. First half, everyone's morning, they've gotten up, they're fresh, they're motivated, they study. By the time evening comes, and then they get like, study too much today, just relax for a bit. And that is the time, I'm like, that time you take the class. That time you sit and you watch the recordings of the class. Okay. So what that does is you can pick out what are the times you are very unproductive, right? So if you have the data about your study hours, you will know which are the exact hours which are unproductive. Yeah. What are our hours? Mine is after 8 p.m. I can't study. What is yours? Yeah. So when you can't study is you just can't study. Yeah. So 8 a.m. she can't study. What is it?
8 p.m.
No, when you can't study. 8 p.m. you can't study. Tell me. So when do you sleep? Everyone sleeps, sir. You can't function like that. Crazy. Hai. What about you, Rakshita? What is your time you can't study? After 9 you can't study. What about you, Sneha? In the morning. Afternoon. Okay. What is yours, Aditi?
But also, like,
Basically, Aditi can't study at all. Anytime ever. Okay, great. So anyway, guys, just the point being, I'm trying to figure out that productivity is about you understanding what are the operations and certain timing of your operations, certain parts of the day where the operations are little lean, and you can try to get a lot more other activities in that. That all happens to a good big data analysis. Next, the characteristics of big data: volume, velocity, variety, veracity, and value. So volume is in large quantity, velocity means at large speed, variety means at different varieties, veracity means again credibility, value means you have to make sure that it's just not data, there are some insights as well, right? So there are 5 V's just that define the characteristics of big data. They are in large quantities, that is volume. They are coming at a large speed, that is velocity. They are in a large variety. There is a veracity in the sense that the sources are credible or not, can be questionable. And value is again converting data into insights. Data and insights have a big difference. Okay. So there's a big difference between data and insights. Okay. Because I can tell you an insight, I've never met anybody who's done the exam kit thrice. Yeah. And written 3 mocks and failed. But I've met a lot of people who've not done it and failed. What does it say about an insight? Right? What is important is exam kit. And when we know it's exam kit, why can't we do 2 months of only exam kit and do study theory in the side? What we do is we do main is the study text and exam kit in the side. Why not just do exam kit as the main and do theory in the side simultaneously? Why can't we do that? Right? So try it for this attempt. Whoever's writing, just to make sure that it's your exam kit that you are studying properly. Finish it 4 times. Right? And do the theory on the side. You have to use the Excel file and do the theory on the side. It's the exam kit what you study. Right? So all the subjects that I feel I scored my highest, which is FM, FR, where I got in my 70, that is where I did the exam kit multiple times. And I have to get up in the morning, read 6 questions in the day. That is literally my diet in the last 1 month of my exam. 6 questions a day. Of FR till lunch and of FM after lunch. Till night. You have to write two papers. I literally used to do that in the last month, obviously. Now I think had I done it from day one like that only, obviously it's a little difficult because you don't know the content and then, but the point is you figure out a way to do it rather than not do it and go the other route completely. Right? So that's just one thing I'm trying to figure out how we can get so much better score just by doing that. Okay? So that again comes to your insights. Okay? Yeah, Aditi, if you can just shut the door, please. Sorry. All right. Next is use of big data. Now, what are the uses of big data here? Okay. Analyze customer opinions and trends. Okay. Analyze the customer opinions and trends. Social media. What are the uses of big data? Right. Big data, diverse sources. Big data comes from diverse sources here. Okay, so this should be like it analyzes customer opinions and trends. Big data does that. It improves your website performance. It optimizes your transport and your logistics. It detects fraud and spending patterns. Right? Market data, it supports investment and forecasting. Okay, it supports investing and forecasting. It detects fraud and spending patterns. It optimizes transport and logistics. It improves website and performance. It analyzes customer opinions and trends. Okay, it analyzes customer opinions and trend. It improves your website performance, optimizes your transport, detects fraud and spending patterns, and supports your investment and forecasting. So these are some of the benefits application of big data. Okay, in some of the areas, now we look into the major application industry wise. It is used in a lot of consumer businesses, right? And it makes the use of very effective marketing. Next, financial services segment customers and personalizes offers. It segments your customers and it personalizes the offers based on the segment. Sports teams, it improves tactics using historical data that they can analyze a player. Right? If you see a lot of times in IPL, they create a pitch map that where has a bowler constantly been bowling, what areas. That again is an example of you using data in a really interesting way. Next, healthcare. It predicts patient risk and improves the care. Next, manufacturing. It enables predictive maintenance and equipment monitoring. It enables what? Predictive maintenance and equipment monitoring. Okay. It enables predictive maintenance and equipment monitoring. It enables predictive maintenance and equipment monitoring. Okay. Consumer businesses. Okay. We understood that. Financial services, we understood that. Sports team, we understood that. Healthcare, got that. Manufacturing, got that. Okay. So consumer businesses understand the behavior of the customers, markets better. Financial services segments customers and personalizes the offers based on the segment. Sports teams, it improves your tactics. Healthcare predicts the patient risk and improves care. Manufacturing enables predictive maintenance and equipment monitoring. Okay, that's about manufacturing, healthcare, sports team, financial services, and consumer businesses. Okay, so consumer businesses understanding customer behavior, got that. Financial services, it segments the customer, then personalizes the offers sent out to each of them. Sports team improves the tactics. Healthcare predicts patient risks, and manufacturing enables predictive and maintenance equipment monitoring. That is big data application. Next, we'll look into is big data benefits. Okay, big data benefits. Okay, big data benefits. One is driving innovation. It speeds up decision making and supports innovation. It speeds up decision making and supports innovation. What does it do? It speeds up decision making and it supports innovation. Okay, competitive advantage. It improves market understanding and customer insights. It improves market understanding and customer insights. Yeah, it improves market understanding and customer insights. Next, improving productivity. It optimizes processes and resource allocation. What does it do? It optimizes processes and it optimizes resource allocation. Okay, it optimizes processes and resource allocation. That is improving productivity, driving innovation. It speeds up decision making and supports innovation. Right? Big data benefits. It drives innovation. It gives you a competitive advantage. It improves productivity. Right? It improves productivity, gives you a competitive advantage, and it drives innovation. What do you mean by driving innovation? It speeds up the decision making and support innovation. Competitive advantage, it improves market understanding and customer insights. It improves productivity. It optimizes process and resource allocation. It optimizes processes and resource allocation. Okay, what does it do? It optimizes your process and resource allocation. It gives you a competitive advantage and it drives innovation. That is the biggest benefit of big data, right? It supports your innovation. Along with that, we looked into the application, drives innovation, gives you a competitive advantage and improves your productivity. Okay, it improves your productivity. Next, big data benefits. Okay, let's look into the benefits of big data. What are the benefits of big data? Okay, looked into that here. All right. Then few more things that are around big data over here. Examples. Firstly, fleet monitoring. It uses sensors to collect vehicle performance data. Right? Big data example how it can be used. Right? It is basically used to collect vehicle performance data. If you see a lot of self-driving cars also, when they have been testing, there'll be a lot of data collection systems inside so that they're collecting all the data and they're understanding how the self-driving cars are actually working so that they can make a change on what needs to be changed. Right? Because so that they can be developed over the next 10, 15 years. Next, it reduces idling. It saves fuels by reducing the engine idle time. Route optimization. It reduces the driving distance and the fuel cost. Right? So these are some of the benefits of an example of data. Right? UPS, again, it's a data giant. UPS, they leverage the big data for all these things. Right? They put it inside the cars, they collect the car data, they reduce the idling, and they do route optimization. They reduces driving distance and fuel cost. Okay, they reduce driving distance and fuel cost. That is route optimization. Reduce idling. They save fuel by reducing engine idle time. Next, fleet monitoring. They use sensors to collect vehicle performance data. Okay, it uses sensors to collect your vehicle performance data. It saves fuel by reducing the idle time. It reduces engine distance and fuel cost. Now, there are some risk also with big data. With all good things, there are some risk as well. What is the risk? First is skill shortage. There are some skill shortage, lack of skilled data professionals, right? Lack of skilled data professionals. There's a skill shortage. Next, data security. Higher risk of cyber attacks and data breaches. Higher risk of cyber attacks and data breaches. Okay, one is skill shortage, lack of skilled data professionals, right? Lack of skilled data professionals, right? The risk is again the lack of people with this kind of data, the skills with how to handle this kind of data. Skill shortage is there today. Data security, higher risk of cyber attacks and data breaches. Data privacy and ethics, privacy concerns from collecting personal data. Privacy concern from collecting personal data. Data security, higher risk of cyber attacks and data breaches. Skill shortage, there are not enough people who have the skills. There are not enough people who have the skills. Right? There are not enough people who have the skills. Lack of skills data. Data security, higher risk of cyber attacks and data breaches. Data privacy and ethics. Privacy concerns from collecting personal data. Privacy concerns from collecting personal data. Okay. Privacy concerns from collecting personal data. That is data privacy. Data security, there's high risk of cyber attacks. Skill shortage, there are not enough people who have the skills to work with big data. Okay. Some example of big data risk example. Let's look into Walmart. Walmart collects extensive customer data for personalization. Privacy concern. They may misuse the personal information and they invade privacy also. They may invade the privacy also. Right? They can invade privacy. Right? What they can do is they can invade privacy. Right? Walmart collects a lot of information. What they can do is they can invade privacy. Next, big data management. What about big data management? The purpose. Okay, now let's look into the big data management. First is purpose. It stores, manages, and controls large data sets. We got that. Data quality. It ensures data is accurate and accessible. Example, cloud system. They manage massive customer databases. Big data management. At cloud system, they manage massive customer databases. Okay. Next, we look into big data analytics. Right. What about big data analytics? Okay. What about big data analytics? Purpose. It finds patterns, trends, and relationship in the data. It finds patterns, it finds trends, and relationship in the data. It finds patterns, trends, and relationship in the data. Strategic value. It supports marketing and business strategy. Third, as an example, it's streaming devices, streaming services recommend content using analytics. What kind of content you are watching? It's the same app. Both of us are getting different recommendation. Right? What is it based on? Based on what we are observing, what we are watching. Based on that, we are getting the recommendation. What is they are using? They're using data over here again. Right? You liking a post is a data they collect. You saving a reel is a data they collect. They have made a personal personality idea about what you like to do, what you like to watch. They send that kind of content. Okay? It all works like that. So you spend more time on the app. When you spend more time on the app, you'll see more ads. When you see more ads, Instagram will get more paid by the brands. Okay, it's a self-fulfilling loop, very addictive business model. Next, the big data pyramid. Okay, the big data pyramid, the purpose, the process. It processes very large data set across multiple computers. Okay, it across multiple computers. What it does is the pyramid. What it does across multiple computers. Hadoop, the data explorers toolkit. So they've spoken about Hadoop. Now, what is Hadoop? The processes very large data set across multiple computers, handles large data from traditional databases. Telecom companies analyze network traffic in real time using Hadoop. Okay. So Hadoop is an open source framework that processes very large data sets. Hadoop. Next we have DIKW pyramid. What about the DIKW pyramid? The DIKW pyramid, it's raw facts without meaning. And that is data. What is information? Processed data with context. Knowledge, understanding that is gained from the information. Wisdom, applying that knowledge to strategic decisions. Okay, so from here they have simplified so many things for us. That what is data? It's a raw fact. What is information? It is processed data. What is knowledge? It's the insights from that particular information. Then what is wisdom? Applying the knowledge that you've got to practical situations. From data to knowledge, they've totally simplified each and everything. We've all used these words. Now this is the very good definition of each and everything. Bottom is data, it's just a raw fact. Then we have information, processed data. Then we have knowledge, insights from that information. And then we have wisdom, that is application of the knowledge to a certain situation that comes. Right? So what does ACCA test? Wisdom, knowledge, information or data? Wisdom. Okay, so you have to put yourself in that situation where you can apply wisdom and then understand where you're wrong. Right? We're not putting ourselves in that situation enough. Okay. Next is predictive analysis. What about predictive analysis? It uses historical data to predict the future events. What does it do? It uses historical data to predict future events. That is predictive analysis. What are the uses? It forecasts customer demand and business trends. It forecasts this customer demand and business trends. What does it do? It forecasts customer demand and business trends. Example, retailers predict buying behavior and manage inventory. Retailers predict buying behavior and manage inventory. First is purpose. What is the purpose of predictive analysis? It uses historical data to predict future events. Uses, it forecasts customer demand and business trends. Example, retailer predict buying behavior and manage inventory. So first is the purpose. What is the purpose? It uses historical data to predict future events. What are the uses? It forecasts customer demand and business trends. What is the example? The retailers will predict buying behavior and they will manage inventory. What do retailers do? Retailers predict the buying behavior and they manage inventory accordingly. Right? That is called predictive analysis. You use historical data to predict future events. Right? Last year, this time, there are a lot of, last year, this time you can say that there were a lot of mangoes sold. Right? Probably because of the rainy season or because of a festival, or we can say a lot of gold is being sold just in the week of Diwali. Right? There's this, one of the earlier days called Dhanteras, where people, buy gold. Right? So that is a predicted time of the year where there will be a lot of gold sales. So anyone who is in that business, they will have a lot of stock during that period. Why? Because they know demand will be high. So that is again called predictive analysis. Okay. Okay. Predictive analysis. Last we have the limitations. What about limitations of data analysis? First of all, provides probabilities, not certainties. It provides you probabilities, not certainties. What are the chances of something happen? It will tell you. It does not tell you the certainty. Second, assumptions. The results depend on data quality and data assumptions. Right? The results depend on the data quality and assumptions. Management role. Management should use judgment alongside analytics. Managers should use judgment alongside analytics. What should managers use? Managers should use judgment alongside analytics. Okay, managers should use judgments alongside analytics. Okay, what should managers use? Judgment alongside analytics. That is what managers should use. Judgment alongside analytics. Right? You can't just believe on analytics. You still need to use your data. You still need to use your judgment. Like someone who gets a first rank in the college, they should not even give an interview at KPMG, right? Technically, they are intelligent. But why is there an interview process, even for first rankers? Right? Why does not the first ranker in the world in 12th standard directly get into the best college in the world? Why not? Why is there an interview process? Why is there an interview process? Because still judgment is needed, right? There's only some enough that the numbers can say, right? Beyond the point, there is judgment. Next, assumption. Result depend on data quality and assumptions, and provides probabilities, not certainties, right? Probabilities versus certainties, and that is the end of chapter 3.